you keep giving, smiling when it hurts, saying yes when every bone in your body screams no. You tell yourself it's kindness, that this is who you are, someone who keeps the peace, someone who's easy to love. But deep down, in the quieter moments of your life, you feel the tension, the exhaustion, the slow, aching resentment that you're too ashamed to admit even exists. You've been told your niceness is your virtue. What they didn't tell you is what it's costing you. The world claps for the agreeable. It rewards the ones who fold themselves into shapes that fit other people's needs. But those rewards are illusions, compliments that expire, friendships built on dependency, not connection, love that only lasts as long as you keep betraying yourself to earn it. What you've mistaken for kindness might be something else entirely, a survival strategy, one you learned young, maybe when love felt conditional, when being liked was the only way to stay safe. And now, years later, that strategy has become your identity. You don't know where the performance ends and the real you begins. You don't ask for help even when you're drowning. You don't show anger even when someone breaks you. You walk through life as if your only purpose is to serve, soften, soothe. But underneath that polished exterior, something raw is rotting. Niceness, when it comes from fear, is self-abandonment dressed up as virtue. Jung would have called this your shadow, the disowned parts of you you've buried so deeply you've forgotten they were ever yours. Your rage, your needs, your desires that might upset others. You've locked them away in the basement of your psyche, convinced they're dangerous. But here's the truth. What you suppress owns you. What you refuse to look at runs your life from the dark. You think you're in control, but you're not. Your need to be nice is running the show. You feel guilty setting boundaries. You feel anxious when someone's upset with you. You replay conversations for hours, afraid you said the wrong thing. You over-explain. You apologize when you've done nothing wrong. You take responsibility for other people's feelings. And slowly, quietly, you disappear. Bit by bit, smile by smile, you become a ghost in your own life. And they love you for it, don't they? They call you kind, sweet, so easy to be around, because you never challenge them, never inconvenience them, never need too much. But love that only exists when you erase yourself isn't love, it's control, it's manipulation, and it's lonely. You start to wonder why you feel empty around the people who claim to adore you, why your relationships feel so one-sided, why no one ever asks how you are, really. But how could they? You never tell them. You've trained everyone to believe you're fine, always fine, that you don't have messy emotions or complicated needs, that you don't get angry or bitter or tired, that you're just nice. But that mask is cracking, isn't it? You can feel it. The fatigue, the numbness, the quiet desperation, the part of you that wants to scream but doesn't know how, the part of you that resents every smile you forced, every favor you couldn't say no to, every silence you swallowed to keep the peace. That part of you isn't broken. It's trying to wake you up. Kindness is beautiful, but niceness, when it's built on self-erasure, is a prison. And you've been in it so long, you've forgotten there's a world outside of it. A world where you can say no without guilt. A world where you can be loved for your truth, not your performance. A world where you don't have to earn your right to exist. But getting there means confronting everything you've avoided, the discomfort of not being liked, the fear of disappointing others, the grief of realizing how many years you spent molding yourself into what others needed, the guilt of finally choosing yourself. You will lose people. The ones who only loved your compliance will leave. They'll call you difficult, selfish, dramatic. They'll make you question your growth, but they were never holding your heart. They were holding your mask. And in their absence, you'll begin to feel something unfamiliar. Not approval, not validation, but peace. Real peace. The kind that comes from knowing you're no longer betraying yourself to be loved. The kind that whispers, you're enough, as you are, no performance required. Carl Jung said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light. but by making the darkness conscious. You can't become whole by just being nice. You become whole by reclaiming the parts of you you've disowned. The anger, the truth, the need, the voice. You don't need to be liked. You need to be free. This isn't about becoming cruel. It's about becoming honest. Authenticity doesn't mean harming others. It means no longer harming yourself to keep others comfortable. It means living in alignment, not obedience. It means letting your yes be real and your no be firm. It means recognizing that true kindness starts with how you treat yourself. You don't owe anyone a watered-down version of you. You don't have to say yes to prove your worth. You don't have to be agreeable to be lovable. You are allowed to take up space, to say what you feel, to ask for what you need to protect your peace. That's not rude, that's sacred. And the moment you stop living for approval, something magical happens. The right people start showing up. The ones who don't need you to shrink. The ones who respect your truth. The ones who offer, not just take. Who see you, not just your usefulness. Who stay even when you're messy, especially when you're messy. But to meet those people, you have to become visible, and that starts with letting go of the mask of being nice. It's not easy. It feels like dying, because in some ways, it is. The false self must die for the real self to live. The one you built to survive must fall so the one meant to thrive, and maybe that's why you've been feeling so tired lately. Because carrying the weight of everyone else's comfort on your back will crush you eventually. And you were never meant to be crushed. You were meant to stand tall in your truth, even if it shakes. Even if it costs you the approval you once craved. Because on the other side of that fear is liberation. Not the shallow relief of being liked, but the deep, steady joy of being real. And that joy, that freedom, it's not loud. It's quiet. Like the first full breath after holding your lungs hostage for years, like waking up in your own life for the first time. You're not here to be nice. You're here to be whole. And wholeness is messy, it's honest, it's brave, and it's worth everything. So take off the costume, let your voice tremble, let your no be loud, let your yes be honest. You're not a character written by someone else's comfort. You're the author now. Write the truth, even if your hands shake, especially then. And when the dust settles, you'll be left with something real. Not applause, not perfection, but self-respect, integrity. A kind of inner quiet that doesn't beg, doesn't perform, doesn't chase. Because there's nothing more powerful than a kind person with boundaries. Nothing more magnetic than someone who loves without losing themselves. Nothing more beautiful than a soul who chose truth over approval, every single time. That is the hidden cost of being nice. And that is the priceless reward of being real. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop calling yourself nice and start calling yourself honest. Not everyone will understand the difference, but the ones who matter will. The ones who deserve a seat at your table will. Because at some point you'll realize the people who truly love you don't need you to be nice. They need you to be you. And the longer you wait to honor that truth, the longer you starve your soul in the name of being palatable. So don't starve your truth just to be digestible. Don't dilute your essence just to be more acceptable. Don't twist yourself into someone you're not just to be invited in. Create your own door. Walk through it. Speak with your full voice. And when you do, you'll finally know the cost of being nice was never worth the parts of you it demanded you kill. But the reward of being real, that's a life that finally feels like home.